Hey YouTubers, and welcome to another video, and this time a kind of different video. I'm going to show you my Nintendo 64 collection. Probably make some 2 other videos where I show my GameCube collection and my Wii game collection and talk about the games a bit. The action replay for some cheaters, it's familiar. You can cheat with it. The first game oh, phew, I thought it was I lost the game. It was Donkey Kong 64 from Rare. When Rare was a very good company and made some awesome games until they made the mistake to turn to Microsoft, and they actually don't ever think they made a success game after that. Perfect Dark Zero and Banjo-Kazooie later on. Yeah, I think it's a waste of a try, but these platform games like Donkey Kong 64 were very awesome. It's very colorful. There was at the intro they had a rap song. It's very it wasn't made by Tupac. You can hear that. It was very it was fun for this, but it was really a bad rap, but very fun. Yeah, if you know this game, you know how the Donkey Kong rap is going. So it was a fun game. The next one is also a game from Rare, and this is Conker's Bad Fur Day. And it's probably the most expensive game I bought on the N64. Bought it about for, and this was the time when the euro wasn't out yet. So I paid around 200 guilders for it. So that's about a bit less like 100 euros, so I think 90 euros, say that. So that's a lot more. It's quite expensive for if you compare it to the price of today's games, and around 60 euros. So, and it was worth it, but I really thought it was expensive, and the reason why at the time was I think it was very it wasn't a big release, so there were very small amounts released, so probably because they're rare. Rare. But this game was a lot of fun. They also remade this for the Xbox. It wasn't really it was nothing new, only they added some stuff, online stuff, but the whole story mode was the same. Rare wanted to show that Nintendo could have a darker side and a more adult side, so because Nintendo was also butterflies and happy joy, that kind of stuff. So this game came along where you get a squirrel who curses. You have to get drunk and piss every. You're in a club. You have to drink beer, so you can piss against enemies. That kind of stuff, and it's spoofs a lot of movies like Saving Private Ryan, The Matrix. Very awesome levels. You have to fight a poo monster, and you have to fight him with toilet paper. So it was a very awesome game. Jet Force Gemini, about twins who have to save the world, and this, I'm a very bad gamer, so I have a lot of games I didn't finish yet, and I got far with this, but I got stuck on one planet, and for some reason at the time you didn't have YouTube or internet. Yeah, you had internet, but yeah, it was at the time you went in via the phone line, so you were when you start up internet, and when you try to find something, it takes like 5 hours to get it at that point. So it was really fun. Also had a multiplayer, wasn't that very interesting, but it was a very fun game, and yeah, what can I say? I got a lot of Rare games, and Rare was really I was looking. Every time there was a game of Rare, I was like, wow, yeah. But yeah, then they turned to Microsoft, and most of the original team of these games were already gone. So Rare isn't anymore. I don't know, does it still exist? Next one is Yoshi's Story. When this game got released, wherever it was announced, was in 1995 or 1996. I think 1996, because I was to year to another high school, and they had a stand out there. They had a whole tour of Nintendo together with a radio station here, and they promoted the new coming console, the N64, and you can play they only had Super Nintendo games there which you could play, but only the a screen where they show Super Mario 64. And when I saw that, my first reaction was, wow, Mario 3D, and it was awesome. And of course I got this game. It's great. I also got it on the Nintendo DS for the extra options, but this game is so awesome, and I hope they're going to release when I got the Wii. I'm going to get the Wii U, but I hope they have Super Mario World 3D release on it, and this looks like fun, but still not really open world 3D adventure game, still a bit boxed. But this was when I saw it was the first time I saw Mario in 3D, and it was, wow, epic. The next game, it wasn't really a great game. It was a Bomberman Hero. Also like Bomberman of the old, the original Bomberman games are more fun. But this they tried to make it 3D adventure, and it wasn't really. Yeah, we really didn't have an open world. It was also kind of boxed, and it was a semi platformer game, but it wasn't that great. And still fun. It was a fun thing, but one of the lesser games of the Nintendo 64. Next one. This one is really special. I read about it. It was in a time when they showed. It was showed at South Park. Most people, younger people, only remember that new the Stick of Truth, which just came out. I still have to play that. But when around here they show South Park only on a network that was behind a box, so you don't really you had a subscription on the channel to watch South Park. And they one or 2 days they flicked the channel open for non-subscribers, and we recorded the whole day South Park. And when I read about this game before I ever saw South Park, and I thought, oh, this looks like fun. The game itself, it's not that great, but it really got something. Also the multiplayer, it's a lot of fun. It wasn't good, but still all kind of nostalgic, but still, really a fun game. This game is the levels are based on episodes, what I think, and you can shoot with a turkey, you can shoot eggs, you can have a hypnotic machine where you shoot someone going to do a little dance and that kind of stuff. You have a probe machine, that kind of stuff, and it wasn't great, but it didn't get great reviews. But I thought it was a classic. Next one, also a very much favorite game of mine, and they made a second one which didn't get a European release here. I don't know if it's released in other countries than in Japan, or maybe also in America. But this one, I don't know if it's good as the first one, but this one, Snowboard Kids. Oh, very much fun. It was like a Mario Kart game, but then on snowboards, and very entertaining and very cool music. Also a lot of these games have very good music, and this is it was and is a very cool game. The next one is Super Smash Bros. The first one on N64. Oh man, it was also a very much very fun game when it was out. Game was so addictive. On the GameCube it was also very addictive. I must say, on Wii also got it, but I didn't play it as that much. But this one when I was in school and it was near my house. Also my brother lived. He was in high school, almost next to the house. So every time they got an hour off, or they had a break, they went home and played this Super Smash Bros. But it's great. It's very much fun. Paper Mario. Very cool concept. Also very much kind of it was an RPG, and very original, very really thought through. And I must say, if you if you have an N64, you don't have this game, still get it. It was very, yeah, it was very good. I bought it and I never really played it how it should be played because that was it's Body Harvest. The world's taken over by aliens and you have to destroy the aliens, but you can do so much for you. You can destroy the house itself. You can decide to help the aliens with kill the people like in GTA. Yeah, that's the only one. I never really said much about it. I really didn't follow the storyline because I bought a Nintendo 64 back in 1998. It was the World Championship and they had a bundle with a football game. I think I got Mario with it as well, but I'm not quite sure yet, or bought it at the same time. But this was included with the N64. It's International Superstar Soccer. It was fun for a football game. Yeah, you know at the time it was basic and the fun thing was you could design your own team, so that was a lot of fun to make your own team with your own characters in it, so that was fun. Next one is our favorite pink ball who swallows. Oh, that sounds dirty. It was a pink blob who likes to suck people. Okay, that's not good. He would consume enemies and get their powers. It's Kirby. The Crystal Shards, a very basic platformer, 2D platformer. Played it on the NES, and I played a Kirby game. I got it also for the Super Nintendo. Is the Fun Pack. I really enjoyed it. I really played that game a lot. But this one I bought, and the same day you can see how in good condition this box is. I bought it. And I finished the game the same evening, so that was kind of a shame. So that was kind of a bummer. That was really a very easy and short game, and yeah, what I see, it's in mint condition. This one. Next one, I got this one. There was also from Rare, and I think everyone who had the Nintendo 64 had this one, Rare's GoldenEye. This game I played a lot, also the multiplayer. Also before going to high school, I played it with my brother and a friend of his. Before we go to school, we played a couple of rounds of GoldenEye, and when we got back, we had N64 tournaments with all the games who has multiplayer, and this one's a favorite. Awesome. Mario Golf. Also a very entertaining sports game, very much fun, also addictive. Yeah, just a good fun game. Pokemon Stadium 1. Also got 2. And yeah, I also played the Game Boy games from these. And at the time that Pokemon came out here, I was also kind of a bit too old for Pokemon, but I'm a huge nerd, so maybe at the time I was a bit of shame. Now I don't give a shit anymore. I thought I watched the cartoon. I bought the games, and it was very much fun. And it was also very much fun to play to others. And it also had own cassette, and so you can use your own Pokemon in the battling. I must say I played this one not as much as the first one, but still good fun. And I see now the price tag and how much people don't have to complain when games get released now, because you think it's expensive, but back in the day, it was quite more expensive than it is now. 170 guilders, that's about 80 euros. So the games who are released now are much cheaper. Next one is Rayman 2. The Great Escape, and not quite sure. I thought it wasn't entertaining. I know the Rayman games, didn't play a lot of the other ones, but there must be a first one, but they probably is the 2D version and didn't get released here or released on the N64. What I did hate about this game, it was so tough. It was really very hard to get to levels, and it was very frustrating when you died, and it had happened a lot in this game. So it was very frustrating sometimes. Next one, also a game which I got was one of the later games I got for the N64, and it's Gumon 2. I won Gumon 1. I still need to get this one. But this one is fun. It's a 2D game. Not as fun as the first one. The first one I rented a lot and never bought it actually. But the first one is also 3D and open world and very much fun. This was also fun, but the low point is scrolling, and the first one is better. But next one is a game. Next one is a game. It's a very weird game. I was very intrigued when I read about it. It was kind of tough and sometimes frustrating and annoying. And it's Space Station Silicon Valley. You are a chip and you have to take over animals, and you can jump over to other animals to use your abilities to complete a level in different kind of levels. And I remember I didn't really get far, but it was fun, but also kind of frustrating at times, because you're actually a chip, and when you're jump off a host, you are vulnerable and you're losing power, so you have to jump quickly, and sometimes it didn't work, but overall it was fun. Next one, also classic. Also bought this later because I rented a lot, and later bought it for the Nintendo Player Choice. When a game sold that much, you get it for cheaper. Is Lylat Wars. I remember also playing this on the Super Nintendo, but I never owned that game. But this one was also very much fun. I played it a lot. Also, the multiplayer was very awesome. That was great. Next one is a racing game, and it was the first Ridge Racer which got a release on the N64. Yeah, it was also kind of thing about, because the people are always at the time bitching about the graphic qualities of Nintendo. It all looks too colorful, and instead of the PlayStation 1 at the time, which I thought was so, yeah, people were more pro Sony than pro Nintendo at the time, even though I thought the graphics were horrible. On the PlayStation 1, yeah, they were colorful, but I thought it was a great race game. It was interesting. Next one is Worms Armageddon. Yeah, who doesn't know this game? Maybe the younger ones, but yeah, you know Worms. There's two sides, and you get you have to kill each other, and you can use all different kind of cool weapons, and very much fun. Next one, of course, couldn't miss in the collection. It's Mario Kart 64. I think one of my favorite Mario Kart games. I think we also got it on the Super Nintendo, but this one is really my favorite, and you got a great multiplayer. And the favorite multiplayer level was the block level with the 4 towers. That was my favorite. Great. And surprisingly, another race game that I got is Cruising the World, and I bought this with a wheel, so I could really drive like this. This is also a very cool race game. Another rare game. It's Perfect Dark, the one only that really counts. Perfect Dark Zero, forget about that one. This was also a very cool game, had some nice jokes. Yeah, when people talk in these games, the mouth don't move. It's very blocky. Blocky is that a kind of good word for it? But it was an awesome game, awesome level, very much storytelling, exactly what you expect from Rare at the point. Also, the multiplayer was very awesome, very cool weapons. Also cool that they put in levels from online here for the multiplayer. So very, very, very cool. At this one, at the time when they announced the game, there was an option in it where you can use the transfer pack with the Game Boy camera, and you can take a picture of your face and put it on the on the face of a person you created for the multiplayer level, and they scripted the idea out because. I don't know why they did that, but it would be fun to play as yourself in Perfect Dark multiplayer. Awesome game. And another sports game, Mario Tennis. Also, yeah, a fun game. Can't say much about it. It's just Mario Tennis. It is and it sounds how it sounds. Great. And then this game came out. I thought I bought this game in 2000. Rayman 2, The Great Escape, and not quite sure. I thought it wasn't entertaining. I know the Rayman games, didn't play a lot of the other ones, but there must be a first one, but they probably is the 2D version and didn't get released here or released on the N64. What I did hate about this game, it was so tough. It was really very hard to get to levels, and it was very, very frustrating when you died, and it had happened a lot in this game. So it was very, very frustrating sometimes. Gumon 2. I won Gumon 1. I still need to get this one. But this one is fun. It's a 2D game. Not just fun as the first one. The first one I rented a lot and never bought it actually. But the first one is also 3D and open world and very much fun. This was also fun, but the low point is scrolling, and the first one is better. But next one is a game. It's a very weird game. I was very intrigued when I read about it. It was kind of tough and sometimes frustrating and annoying, and it's Space Station Silicon Valley. You are a chip and you have to take over animals, and you can jump over to other animals to use your abilities to complete a level in different kind of levels. And I remember I didn't really get far, but it was fun, but also kind of frustrating at times. Because you're actually a chip, and when you jump off a host, you are vulnerable and you're losing power. So you have to jump quickly, and sometimes it didn't work. But overall, it was fun. Next one, also classic. Also bought this later because I rented a lot, and later bought it for. The Nintendo Player Choice. When a game sold that much, you get it for cheaper. Is Lylat Wars. I remember also playing this on the Super Nintendo, but I never owned that game. But this one was also very much fun. I played it a lot. Also, the multiplayer was very awesome. Next one is a racing game, and it was the first Ridge Racer which got a release on the N64. Yeah. It was also kind of thing about, because the people are always at the time bitching about the graphic qualities of Nintendo. It all looks too colorful, and instead of the PlayStation 1 at the time, which I thought was so, people were more pro Sony than pro Nintendo at the time, even though I thought the graphics were horrible. On the PlayStation 1, they were colorful, but And I thought it was a great race game. Worms Armageddon. Yeah, who doesn't know this game? Maybe the young ones, but yeah, you know Worms. There's two sides, and you get yeah, you have to kill each other, and you can use all different kind of cool weapons, and very much fun. The next one, of course, couldn't miss in the collection. It's Mario Kart 64. I think one of my favorite Mario Kart games. I think we also got it on the Super Nintendo, but this one is really my favorite, and you got really a great multiplayer. And yeah, the favorite multiplayer level was the block level with the 4 towers. That was my favorite. Cruising the world, and I bought this with a wheel, so I could really drive like this. This is also a very cool race game. Another rare game. It's Perfect Dark. The only that really counts. Perfect Dark Zero. Forget about that one. This was also a very cool game. Had some nice jokes. Yeah, when people talk in these games, the mouth don't move. It's very blocky. Blocky. That's a kind of good word for it. But it was an awesome game, awesome level, very much storytelling, exactly what you expect from Rare at the point. Also the multiplayer was very awesome, very cool weapons. Also cool that they put in levels from online here for the multiplayer, so very cool. At the time they when they announced the game, there was an option in it where you can use the transfer pack with the Game Boy camera. And you can take a picture of your face and put it on the on the face of a person you created for the multiplayer level, and they scripted the idea out because I don't know why they did that, but it would be fun to play as yourself in Perfect Dark multiplayer. Awesome game. And Mario Tennis also yeah, a fun game. Can't say much about it. It's just Mario Tennis. Next game is Mario Party. I bought this I think back in 2000. It's almost 40 years ago, man. Damn, time goes fast. A very much entertaining game, which is a very good test, and even for the ones that are following this up, it tests your friendship, because when you play this one, because in Mario Party you play games, but you play against each other, and you can screw each other with taking their stars, taking their coins, and wow, there were a lot of bad tempers when you play this game. If you know what I mean, you probably had it one too with your friends, but even though that, and you can still be friends at the end. It's a very good test, and this one was awesome. But also the second one and the third one. Next one is another Rare platformer, which was a very awesome game. It's Banjo-Kazooie, stars a bear and its bird, and they have to fight the evil witch Gruntilda. I had to look it up, as a while. You have a lot of different worlds, very colorful, very good designed, and you have to find puzzle pieces and honeycombs, and it's very much fun. And if you have a Nintendo 64, I bet 9 out of 10 Nintendo 64 owners probably have this game. That's very great, very awesome. Banjo-Kazooie. Okay, I'm weird. And the next one is Banjo-Tooie. If you Tooie, who's Tooie? But that was kind of a joke, because you got Banjo-Kazooie 2 and Tooie, here they go, we're playing, you get Banjo-Tooie. Also a very entertaining game. I think as much as good as the first one. Very entertaining, very much fun, and yeah, you got a chance to play with some extra new characters, and yeah, what can I say? Very entertaining. And the next one, also very good special nostalgic memories, and probably my favorite also one of my favorite Nintendo 64 games and Zelda games. It's Zelda Ocarina of Time. I played the original NES. Also, I never owned it myself. Well, I liked it, but it wasn't very my thing. And when I played this, I thought the soundtrack was great. How cinematic everything was, the storytelling, the levels, the design of the world, everything was awesome. Next one is Zelda or Majora's Mask. Also, look, mint condition. Also a game I should have played more, but the thing what was really bumping, what I really thought was made it not less attractive to play this game was because of the time. You have 3 days to save the world, but every time you have a song to go back in time, but you lose some items. You have to get them again, and you have to finish a level in time and before the moon destroys the earth. And that was kind of a thing why I never got really far with this game. So you can see it also mint condition and very maybe I should be ashamed, but it's very much fun. In everything is very good, in very good condition. And this one was a cool card, a gold card. Make some awesome picture of that. So that's also very awesome. And the final game, I never had it, and I recently bought this online because I didn't buy it at the time because it looks too much like Mario Kart, and so I never played it on a friend's house, played it at the time, and actually I thought it should be in my collection, and it's Diddy Kong Racing. So those were my Nintendo 64 games. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing. This was Flung, but no one out.